Hi everyone, it's Dora here. So for those of you who are new or who don't know me, but are curious to try out the free yoga class that I'm offering next week and hopefully weekly thereafter, I just want to talk about what you might expect when you arrive or come to my class next week. So firstly, I want to say that it is going to be a for everybody class, meaning that whether you're a beginner or a more experienced yogi, you will be able to participate. So safety and accessibility are like number 1 and 2 on my priority list when it comes to teaching. So obviously I want all my students to feel safe and be safe when they're practicing with me. But also I feel it is very important for everyone to feel successful and empowered during the class. So some of the teachers that influence my teaching include Tracy Eccleston from Ageless Arts Yoga, whom I did my yoga teacher training with back in 2015. And what I took from her teachings is that accessibility is so important because we are always teaching to people of all levels, and we want to make yoga accessible to everyone because it really is, and it can be if we know how to make the right modifications and to listen to our bodies and know what feels good or not, or what feels right or not in our bodies. And so that became sort of the basis of my teachings, is that when I teach, I want to do my best to make sure that I'm offering different options and modifications so that everyone can participate. And I also learned with Leslie Kaminoff and Amy Matthews, and they also have a huge focus on, seeing that every single body is unique, meaning that no, two bodies are going to be exactly alike. So if you have two people doing the exact same pose, you can be pretty sure that they're probably feeling very different sensations in their bodies. And vice versa, if you get them feeling exactly the same sensations in their bodies, their poses are likely going to look very different from each other. So as a yoga teacher, it's hard for me to just walk into a room and just visually look at everyone and to determine whether they're doing, the pose correctly or not. Because it really depends on what the intention of the pose is, and how that pose will express itself in each individual body. So with that in mind, the way that I like to teach is really about helping you to find or to understand how different poses might feel in your body, and for you to learn about yourself and know what feels right or not, what feels safe and supportive in your body. And then more recently, I'm learning with Richard Miller and Stephanie Lopez, who are IRES, or Integrative Restoration Yoga Nidra meditation teachers. And their teachings kind of take my understanding to a whole new level. And here, I learned about how all different sensations, feelings, emotions, cognitions like thoughts, images, memories, all of these things come to us as messages which we could learn from. And all of these messages eventually find their way out through our physical body. And so this really helps to deepen that self-inquiry and self-understanding, and it's a beautiful practice. So I try to interweave all of these teachings into my teachings when it comes to my yoga practice. The style of yoga that I teach, I can very broadly say it's vinyasa yoga. But I'd like to point out that I like to do a very slow flow, and I focus on strength, balance, control, and the breath. And so the reason why I like to move slowly is because moving slowly gives us that time to really feel the poses in our bodies, for us to then be able to make that deepest self-inquiry and to feel and connect with our breath. And also then you might start to connect with, you know, certain or different feelings or emotions, or even thoughts or memories or images that might come up as messages in each particular pose that you might find yourself in. And, you know, in that sense, we can really feel and experience the potential of what the pose has to offer. So I like to think of it as, you know, instead of taking a run in a beautiful park, instead we're taking a stroll in that same park, where we're able to then stop and touch the trees and smell the flowers, and really take that time to appreciate the little things. So in future posts that that I will create coming or leading up to our free yoga class, I will talk a little bit more about some of the benefits of yoga. I will talk about a little bit more about I Rest Yoga Nidra. And also, because I will be you know, doing these classes on Facebook Live, one of the downside is that I won't actually be able to see you guys and know what you're doing on your end. So to hopefully help you to make your practice a little bit more accessible or enjoyable, I will also be posting up short videos on a few yoga poses that we frequently do in yoga classes, and I'll go over a little bit of the basics and foundations for those poses, and hopefully that will make our class a little bit more enjoyable, or even your own yoga practice, you know, might feel a little bit more accessible. So until then, have a wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Namaste.